Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, hi, I'm Almas. Nice to meet you. I know it's been a long while, but I'm back and I have a book haul. So, if you have seen my recent community post, you know that I went to Mumbai a few weeks ago, and because of that, I didn't post anything in between. And if you have seen the short that I posted about Mumbai, you'd know that I visited some bookstores and obviously I bought some books. So in this video you'll see a montage of me browsing through those bookstores and a few clips from the Ed Sheeran concert because I went to Mumbai for the concert, so I'll include those clips as well. The best part of growing up and going on a trip is to be able to decide the destinations you want to visit. I avoided all the touristy places because I can Google the images, right? So what's the point? Since I had the opportunity to choose where I want to go, I chose two bookstores, and obviously I went to the concert and Phoenix Mall, etc. etc. We also went to the Snow World. Without wasting time, I'll lead you to the montage and then I'll come back again and I'll show you the books that I bought from the different bookstores. So let's go. There were a lot of people in the bookstore, so I didn't feel comfortable filming them. That's the reason why I didn't get a lot of footage, because first of all I wanted to enjoy my time there. I wanted to be present in the moment, so I didn't record everything. I only recorded in the places there were less people. Also, it's multi-story, so you have all the classics up in the first floor and the rest of the books in the ground floor. The collection was really good. I saw a lot of different genres and different types of books. They also had this dedicated section for the books that are written about Mumbai, and I bought one of them. I'll show you that later. I wasn't expecting it because it's an independent bookstore, but they offered a discount on every book and it saved me a lot of money, and I was really happy about that. So that's where we went to on our first day in Mumbai. The next day I went to a different bookstore. I was also planning on going to a puppy cafe, but they didn't have an empty slot, so we had to discard that plan. So this bookstore, it's called Tidal Waves. was this huge section of non-fiction books. I didn't record any of that because I wasn't interested in buying non-fiction at the time, so I just went past it. They also had a very good variety and range of books. I enjoyed my time there. They also have this cafe inside the bookstore, so you can just eat or drink something if you feel like it. You can also buy a book and read inside the cafe. Another thing about Tidal Waves is that they didn't offer me any kind of discount. They charged me the full price, so I was a little bit disappointed by that, because there was this huge discount that I got in Kitab Khana. So I was expecting something, but they didn't offer any kind of discount, and I bought more books in Kitab Khana and less in Tidal Waves, but it cost me more money. So those were the two bookstores that I visited, and then on the first day itself I went to a few local book vendors because there were a lot of book vendors near Kitab Khana. So I went to 3 of them. I bought books from just one, but I browsed through 3 bookstalls. They had a really good collection. Although the copies were not original, I got them at a very, very cheap price. You can say 99 rupees for a book. So I'd call it a steal. What can you expect from a book that's not even 100 rupees? You know what I'm saying? That's also the reason why I was able to buy so many books, because I went to local book vendors and now it's time for the haul. So the way I have decided to split this up is by which book I bought from which bookstore. So first up, I visited Kitab Khana, so I'll show you the books that I got from Kitab Khana. So I bought a grand total of 7 books from Kitab Khana. We'll go through them one by one. First up, I bought Six of Crows by Lee Bardugo. It's a fantasy duology. People rave about it, and I haven't read a pure fantasy yet, so I decided to buy it because I want to explore different genres. And you know, I like reading about different things, and I don't think it's good that I confine myself in one type of genre. So I decided to expand my boundaries and finally buy The Six of Crows by Lee Bardugo. And it's about a heist. I don't know much about it because I like going into books knowing as little as possible so that I don't prejudice it. Expect a fantasy reading vlog sometime soon, because I have collected quite a few fantasy books to read, so I think it will make a good reading vlog. Yeah, moving on to the next one. Next up, I bought If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nolan. All I know is it is a sad book. It's young adult. Correct me if I'm wrong, but those are the 2 things that I know about this book. I haven't read a sad book in a long time, and people say it's pretty sad, so I bought it. I'll tell you if it's sad or not after I read it. Next, I bought Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. I bought this for my sister because she loves rom-coms, and I have heard Haley fam rave about it. I think she was the first person who hyped this up, so I wanted to read this for a really long time, but I wasn't getting around to it. So when I saw this at Kitab Khana, I immediately bought it, and obviously I'll read it. So next, I decided to buy something that's about Mumbai, so I bought Bombay Bal Chao. I wanted to have a memento from the trips. I wanted to know Mumbai more, so I bought this. It's, again, I don't know much about this book. The cover is really good. The illustration is really eye-catching. As soon as I looked at it, something called out to me and I picked it up and I ran for the counter. Moving on, I bought Family Lore by Elizabeth Acevedo. She is the author of The Poetics and Clap When You Land. I was reading Clap When You Land last year, but I didn't finish it because I was in a really bad reading slump. So yeah, I'll show you Clap When You Land. You can still see the bookmark. I also need to read this, but I'll read it. All I remember from reading Clap When You Land is that I really liked the writing style. I thought it was really poetic and so different from anything I have read. So I decided to buy Family Lore. It's an intergenerational story about women, and I love stories that are about women. So that's all that I know about this one. I have really high hopes from this because there's something about this book that's calling out to me, you know. Sometimes you get that feeling that you love something. So I'm getting that feeling from this book. I can be completely wrong, but I don't think I will be. Next, I bought Strange Sally Diamond. The main reason that I bought this is because the cover reminds me of Fleabag, and it's one of my all-time favorite shows. I love Fleabag. That's the thing that attracted me towards it. But when I read the synopsis, I was so intrigued. I wanted to know what's going on. So I bought this, and look at this cover, and don't tell me you don't see Fleabag. Matlab, you see it, right? I'm not going crazy, am I? You bet I'll read it very soon. I'll read out the synopsis for you. So, Sally Diamond cannot understand why what she did was so strange. She was only doing what her father told her to do, to put him out with the rubbish when he died. Now Sally is the center of attention not only from the hungry media and police detectives, but there is also a sinister voice from a past she cannot remember. As she begins to discover the horrors of her childhood, Sally steps into the world for the first time, making new friends and big decisions, and learning that people don't always mean what they say. But who is the man observing Sally from the other side of the world? And why does her new neighbor seem to be obsessed with her? Sally's trust issues are about to be severely challenged. Don't you think it sounds so interesting? I'll read it, okay? I'll tell you what I think about it when I read it, but I'm thinking of including this in a reading vlog, so keep an eye out for that. Last but not the least, I bought Time Shelter. I had my eyes on this one for such a long time, but for some reason I was putting off ordering it from Amazon. Then I saw this at Kitab Khana and I couldn't resist myself from buying it. And this also won the International Booker Prize 2023. The synopsis is really intriguing. So I'll read it out for you. In Time Shelter, an enigmatic flower named Gostine opens a clinic for the past that offers a promising treatment for Alzheimer's sufferers. Each floor reproduces a decade in minute detail, transporting patients back in time. But as the rooms become more convincing, an increasing number of healthy people seek out the clinic as a time shelter, hoping to escape from the horrors of our present, a development that results in an unexpected conundrum when the past begins to invade the present. Now you know why I bought it. So I love these kind of books that venture into existential crisis and books that are more focused on people than plot. I like those kind of books. So yeah, Time Shelter. Now let's talk about the books I bought from Tidal Waves. My first and foremost goal when I entered Tidal Waves was to buy books that are not well known. I wanted to try the underrated ones, see if they are any good. So I bought different books from different genres. I didn't buy books from the same genre, and you'll see what I'm talking about. First up, I bought The Summer You Found Me by Elizabeth Orr. I haven't heard many people talking about this author. I saw Chandler Ainsley talking about Elizabeth Orr. I think she loves this author, but apart from her, I haven't seen anybody talk about it in my knowledge. So I bought The Summer You Found Me. I want to discover new authors and I want to step out of my comfort zone and promote the books that I like and I think are underrated, because that way it will reach more people. So I bought this one from the romance section. Then I did a very stupid thing and I bought Children of Memory. I picked this up from the sci-fi section, but turns out that this is the third book in a sci-fi series. So Why didn't I Google it before buying it? I'm still trying to wrap my head around it because I should have Googled it. Now I'm thinking of gifting this to my friend who reads a lot of sci-fi. I'll also gift him the other two books in the series because I'm not that deep into sci-fi. I don't think I'm at the place where I can handle a sci-fi trilogy. So I'll hand it over to him, and if he says that this is any good, I'll give it a go. But for now, I'm planning to give this to him. Then I bought The Last Gift of the Master Artist by Ben Okri from the general fiction section. The synopsis reminded me of the 40 Rules of Love in some ways, so I got really excited and I bought this. I'll read it out for you. By a riverbank in Africa, two lovers meet for the first time. They make a promise to meet again the next day. Same time, same place, but only one of them shows up. This sounds like the beginning of a love story, but it's more than that. For this breathtaking tale takes the reader into the heart of a vibrant world, a complex and intriguing civilization of warriors and kings, philosophers and artists, parents and lovers. A world and culture which is about to end for, glimpsed on the horizon, seen but unsuspected, beautiful ships with white sails awaiting. Doesn't that sound beautiful? To me it does. Also the color is really striking. I'm excited to read this one because I want to explore more cultures and traditions, and I'm looking forward to reading this. Now on to the next one. As I said, I haven't read fantasy books, but I want to, so I bought another one. It's The Phoenix King by Aparna Verma. It's supposed to be a trilogy. This is the first book in the series. It's by an Indian author I picked up from the Indian literature section, and I thought the synopsis was really good. I think it would make for a good story. I'll read it out for you. The Ravani kingdom was born of a prophecy, carved from unforgiving desert sands and ruled by the Ravens bloodline, those with the power to command the eternal fire. Elena Adya is the heir to the throne, and the only Ravens who cannot wield her family's legendary magic. As her coronation approaches, she will do whatever it takes to prove herself a worthy successor to her revered father. But she doesn't anticipate the arrival of Yasin Knight, the notorious assassin who now claims fealty to the throne. Elena's father might trust Yasin to be a member of a royal guard, but she is certain he is hiding something. As the threat of war looms like a storm on the horizon, the two begin a dangerous dance of intrigue and betrayal, and the choices they make could burn down the world. So this princess doesn't have the legendary magic that's passed down from generation to generation, and it reminds me of Encanto. I love that movie, but it sounds like a darker version of that. So yeah, I'll read it and I'll let you know what I think about it. The font is really small. Like, don't you think it's tiny? I mean, look at that. That's a crime to have font this tiny. Last book that I got from Tidal Waves was The Twilight Garden by Sarah Nisha Adams. Look at this cover. And I picked it up because of the cover. I didn't even read the synopsis, and then I bought it. After that, I read the synopsis and it sounds even more magical. I'll read it out for you. In a small pocket of London, between the houses number 77 and number 79, Eastbourne Road, lies a neglected community garden. Once a sanctuary for people when they needed it most, the garden's gate is now firmly closed. And that's exactly how Winston at number 79 likes it. Anything to avoid his irritating new next door neighbor. But when a mystery parcel drops on Winston's doormat, a curious bundle of photographs of a community garden, his garden bursting with life life years ago, a seed of an idea is planted. Somewhere out there, a secret gardener made a decades old promise to keep the community spirit alive, and now it's time for the Twilight Garden to come out of hibernation. You bet I'm reading this very soon. I can't put it off for a long time. So I'll let you know. I think it will be a 5-star read. I have a feeling about this one, and I hope I'm right because I so badly want it to be a 5-star. Lastly, I'll show you the books that I bought from the local book vendor. First up, I had this book on my list of books that I wanted to buy. It's The Lost Bookshop by E.V. Woods, and again, I have a very vague idea of what this book is about, but I think it's about a magical bookshop where people can experience different stories or something. I'm not exactly sure, but from that vague synopsis itself, I'm intrigued. Okay, so I bought it. You can see this little house in between these books. And it sounds really cozy, low stake, very chill kind of vibe. A quiet street in Dublin, a lost bookshop is waiting to be found. For too long, Opalyn, Martha, and Henry have been the side characters in their own lives. But when a vanishing bookshop casts its spell, these three unsuspecting strangers will discover that their own stories are every bit as extraordinary as the ones found in the pages of their beloved books. By unlocking the secrets of the shelves, they find themselves transported to a world of wonder where nothing is as it seems. It sounds very magical, and it feels like a book that would get me out of this existential crisis that I am in right now. I might read it next month itself. You will hear my thoughts and opinions on it very soon. Next, I bought Matthew Perry's memoir, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing. At this point, I think we all know what it's about. It still gets me a little bit emotional thinking about him because I remember my friend asking me to watch Friends, and I was putting it off for so long because I thought it was overrated. I was in a really bad place at the time when I watched Friends. That show single-handedly helped me survive that phase of my life. And knowing that Matthew Perry is no more, it makes me feel things. Okay, sue me, I'm a human. I try not to think about it, but I don't get emotional over it all the time. But whenever I talk about it, I haven't watched the show since then, but I wanted to know more about his life and things he struggled with, because knowing him as a character and as a human being are two different things. So I wanted to know him as Matthew Perry and not Chandler. So I bought this and I read the first chapter, and it was painful to read. The things that he had to go through, it was too much. So I put it down. But I'll read it once I'm not emotional about it. I'll read it. Next, I bought a very well-renowned book. I think if you know anything about BookTube, BookTok, Bookstagram, you know about The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. It's a domestic thriller. I have already read it, and you will hear my thoughts and opinions in March wrap-up. So make sure you watch that video once I upload it. I won't say much about this book now. I'll say it all when the time comes. So next up, I bought another new release, The Fury by Alex Michaelides. Spoiler alert, I have already read this, and again, you'll hear my thoughts and opinions in the March wrap-up. But I really... okay, I won't say anything else. You'll see what I thought about this. It's a murder mystery, if you didn't know. And last but not the least, I bought Hello Beautiful by Anne Napolitano, mainly because of the cover, or I should say just because of the cover, because it's so beautiful, just like the title. and yeah, I haven't even read the synopsis yet, but I'm looking forward to reading this. I hope the book itself is as beautiful as the cover, because if it's not, then what a waste. So those were all the books that I bought while I was in Mumbai, and of course I went to the Ed Sheeran concert, and I'll insert a few clips from that concert now.
Give me love. Remember Mumbai, loud as you can. Oh, give me love.
I hope you liked the video. If you did, come back next week for another one. It will be a reading vlog about, again, spoiler alert, I'm almost done with Mockingjay. Next week I'll release the reading vlog of the Hunger Games. I won't say anything about it now for obvious reasons. So come back next week to see what I thought about the Hunger Games, my reaction, my review, and I'll see you next week. Bye. If you are wondering about the change in background, I'm in my apartment. I share it with two other people, and right now they are both out of the house, so I'm all alone. And I was at my parents' house for the entire month of February, so that's the reason why there's a change in background.